Welcome to the program. This segment is all about preparing your business for sale. And this segment's brought to you by booksgrowbusiness.com, the place where busy professionals and entrepreneurs get their books done and published to educate consumers, grow their businesses, and leave a legacy. I'm Mark Imperial. Joining me on this segment is Akili Johnson with Wells Fargo Advisors. Akili, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you, Mark. Appreciate being here.
Akili, tell us a little bit about your work and specifically who are the types of clients that you specialize in helping?
That's a great question. The type of work we do is valuation, business planning, exit planning. It has many names. Primarily, we help business owners increase their revenue, maximizing their value, reducing their taxes, and increasing their flexibility of options in the market. Primarily, we look to work with clients that have revenues between 10 and 100 million, and we can go higher if necessary. But we find that there's a unique need in the space for micro businesses in that range.
Business owners and founders are really terrific at growing that business, but what do you find? How much thought do they really put into exiting and selling the business? How prepared are they when you meet them?
Well, they're business owners are very unique. They have a entrepreneurial uh, focus and an idea. And a lot of times that is devoid of the metrics, the numbers. And so what we find is that many clients lack the understanding of what their true problem is. They lack the accuracy of numbers to determine what that exit is going to look like, and is that going to fund their wealth plan and their profit gaps and their value gaps. The non-financial risks. A lot of times we see that conflict ensues because there's a lot of money changing hands and someone feels left out, and that part of the planning wasn't discussed in the beginning. Obviously, there's other things that we could go into, but there's a inflection point that we find in this market right now that is allowing for independent collaboratory advisors to come in and share solutions that can help with funding, private equity, strategic buyers, all of these types of solutions that are out there. And it really takes an expert to do an assessment and understand how attractive the business is, how the business is with the wealth of the business owner actually is, and what those gaps are, so that we can fill those gaps with the proper planning and execution.
Let's unpack that a little bit because I understand it. There's usually a lot more to it than people may think. And as you mentioned, there's really a team of professionals in play that have to work together. Where does a business owner start in this process? What's the biggest thing they should look at?
I really believe that the business owner should look at their business, personal, and financial goals. Those are what drive them underneath this ability to generate revenue with a company and their idea. I think they should primarily be focused on how the business is going to fund these other aspects of their life, and start to, instead of looking at the business as an extension of their family, more as a tool to execute on their life's work and to do what they're passionate about doing.
Are there any like really big common myths or misconceptions that you find business owners hold that may not necessarily benefit them when it comes to preparing to sell their business?
Um, yes, there are some things that business owners can do to prepare better. One, I think, would be to ensure that there's a lot of cross pollination between their advisors. And when I say that, what I really mean is communication. A lot of times, business owners tend to approach their planning or strategic reviews with just one person. And I think that in order to really do a deep dive and understand the key performance indicators of their business, the key metrics of their business, is to bring in independent collaboratory advisors who are trained to work together, who are trained not to fight about who's going to be the trusted advisor, but put the client first, making sure that the client's needs are always top of mind in the solution business. What we do at Wells Fargo Advisors is have these consultations. We're not pushing products. We're trying to do the intake and understand the landscape and the needs of the client first. And we do that it takes a long time. Oh, and a lot of clients are not patient enough for that because they're so used to someone trying to give them a solution off the top. Business owners are typically type A personalities. They want a solution now. But the type of solution that they really need is one that's going to take a little more time to uncover what's under the hood in their business so that we can actually find the right individuals and solutions to implement. And again, it's the old adage of beginning with the end in mind, taking a look at all of these things and not trying to push a product, but trying to understand the client, putting them at the center, using the expertise of the independent collaboratory advisors to solve for that after we've gotten that information.
So it sounds like an exit planning advisor like yourself acts as sort of like the director or the conductor or the ringmaster, if you will. Is that a way to look at it?
Well, typically, yes. As a wealth manager, I'm a connecting point to the insurance advisor, to the estate planner, to the CPA, to the business advisor, business coach, psychology coach, and we implement the plans of our clients to ensure that when the funds come in, that those funds get dispersed to the proper areas that we have already planned for. And these are customized specifically for each individual business owner in their teams. So we represent those individuals and want to make sure that we provide them with the best in class solution.
Akili, what inspired you to get into this field and help business owners planning to exit and sell their businesses? How did you get started?
Well, I was a portfolio manager and advisor at a competing firm for many years, a top firm in the industry. If I named it, you would know exactly who they were. And so I was doing that work and primarily working with retirement clients. And I saw the business changing internally because a lot of banks kind of, have their own plans on how they're going to deliver wealth management. And I've always had an interest in M&A, mergers and acquisitions. And upon a lot more research, I realized that there's a lot of dollars changing hands over about 10 trillion, which Chris Snyder, who is the president of the Exit Planning Institute, and his father, I'm sorry, Chris Snyder is the father, Scott is the son, but he wrote a book called Walking into Destiny, where he talked about the baby boomer generation, sunsetting and people coming, their inheritors coming in and running their businesses and really not having a passion for what their fathers did. So I thought it would be a really good way to engage the community. I've always been a very interested in helping people within the community. So that for me was a natural space. This particular approach to business was filling a need that may not necessarily be known yet to the vast community and markets. So I'm trying to make sure that I'm known as a catalyst for that type of change. And it hits all my passions. I'm a spirit, family, community, health, and education. That's my life philosophy. And this actually is in alignment with all of those things. And so as I help others, I benefit as well, but I really put that on the front end to help first, and whatever comes my way, I'm definitely open to that.
Before I ask you my last question, is there anything regarding exit planning that I didn't think to ask you that you feel is really important to share with business owners considering exiting today?
I would think that the thing I would like to leave you with for business owners really has to do with finding the right advisor who cares about their particular nuances and ensuring that they're getting what they need but also making sure that, or how to find that type of individual. I think that there's a lot of people, advisors right now, who are poaching clients, meaning that they are an expense on the balance sheet. They're not actually adding value to the business owner. They will happily manage their assets, but they're not helping them generate revenue. And so that's how we differentiate ourselves. We not only have an investment management component and a, estate planning component and a business planning component and a retirement plan component. We actually focus on the business owner from that vantage point and ensure that we're helping them generate revenue, helping them decrease their taxes, and increasing their options in terms of what they can do in the market. So those are the new age type of advisors that people should be looking for, if they're in business. If you have a personal 401k or something along those lines, there will always be advisors who will manage those assets. But if you are a business owner and you want to really take your business to the next level, I would definitely look into hiring or collaborating with a value advisor, an exit planning advisor, who is on the same side of the balance sheet with the business owner, to help them increase their revenue so that they can impact those gaps, the wealth gap, the profit gap, and the value gaps that are inherent in business.
Terrific. For business owners listening who could certainly use your help, how can they find you, get a hold of you, and learn more?
Well, they can reach me at 469 718 7178. That's my office line. And they can reach me at a.johnson at wfa.com. That's a.johnson at wfa.com.
Akili, this has been terrific. I really appreciate you taking the time to share with my audience today, and I wish you continued success for you and for all of your clients.
Well, thank you so much, Mark. This has been a pleasure to spend time with you this morning, and I look forward to the future. You have a wonderful day.
That was Akili Johnson with Wells Fargo Advisors, and this segment's been brought to you by booksgrowbusiness.com. It's the place where busy professionals get their books done and published to educate consumers, grow their businesses, and to leave a legacy. That's all for now. I'm Mark Imperial, and thanks for joining me.